Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the second half of September in today's video. It looks like we've got more topsy-turvy weather coming up really. We're going to be in an autumnal type pattern for the next few days. So it's going to be turning warmer again over the weekend and at the start of next week. Then later next week it may turn cooler again. So, before I get on with the videos, I'll talk about the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad overlaying my weather videos at gazweathervids.com. Please play those video ads. You'll be supporting gazweathervids.com by doing that. So, starting off with the 500 millibar height anomaly charts, as we usually do for these videos, looking out beyond the 10-day period. And we can see that we've got the ECMWF here on the left, but GFS is on the right. We'll have a look at GFS in a moment. 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, important area in the atmosphere. That's where we've got high pressure, low pressure developing, and the jet stream moves those high pressure and low pressure areas around as it runs above, and that's really what gives us weather, the interaction between the jet stream and the pressure systems. So this is the height anomaly for 8 to 10 days time from the ECMWF. We can see we've got above average heights here sitting to the west and to the southwest of the British Isles, a large area of high pressure being signalled there out in the Atlantic. We've got quite a strong jet stream as well. We can see from the lines here that the jet stream is running just to the north of the country, or through northern parts of the country. So that's taking more unsettled weather always to the northern parts of the country, but really this is high pressure in control, but sitting out to the west and to the southwest of the country. Now for the GFS, this is a bit different because the high pressure is further out. The above average heights, there is a big area of above average heights, but it's further out in the Atlantic. In fact, it's off the coast of Newfoundland, so it's well out into the central and western part of the Atlantic actually. And these lines here kinking down across the British Isles, just indicating that we may be getting some sort of a trough here starting to develop around the British Isles. So this is a more unsettled pattern probably. The high pressure is further out, and yes, these kinks in the lines could just be the signs of a trough of low pressure starting to develop in the flow. And in any case, the jet stream is running more or less over the country here. It's quite a bit further south than it is on the GFS, on the ECM model, I should say. So GFS temperature ensembles for the next 2 weeks. This is taking us from today, the 11th of September, through to around the 27th of September, so taking us right towards the end of the month. And we can see that at the moment we're below average. This is for Manchester, by the way, but Manchester is a good representation really of central parts of the British Isles. So this is showing that at the moment we're below average. It is feeding autumnal out. If you've not been out yet, it is an autumnal blow. Then the temperatures are going to pick up a little bit, but to stay around the seasonal average for the rest of this week, before pushing up on Friday to go above average. And they dip down again, and then they go back up again, and then we get an extended run for about 3 or 4 days of above average temperatures from around the 15th through to around the 19th. We're going to get an extended run of really quite warm and dry weather as high pressure builds back in from the south and the southwest. I was talking about this in the video yesterday. Beyond that though, we see those temperature lines beginning to dip back again, and once we get through to around the 20th, 21st of September, those temperature lines are back down to where they should be, seasonal averages. The red line here, we're back down to the seasonal average. That's a lot of runs going below the seasonal average, and then that remains for the rest of the ensemble going out to around the 28th of September. Precipitation spikes. Well, you can see we've got a bit of precipitation coming up over the next few days in association with this cooler, more autumnal weather, but a lot of dry weather really coming up through the latter part of the week into the weekend of the first part of next week. Plenty of dry weather here. Once you get through to around the 19th, 20th, in association with this dip in the temperatures, we start to find the precipitation spikes coming back. It does look as though we could see quite a bit of precipitation as we go through towards the final week of September. If this is right, this is a long way out, of course, so we do have to be careful. So running through the charts from the GFS model, and we can see on Tuesday the 18th, so this is a week's time, we've got high pressure sitting to the east. That's built up from the south over the weekend. It's now to the east by the time we get through to Tuesday, bringing up this very warm southerly wind, so temperatures could well be back into the mid to upper 20s for some southern parts of the country. But low pressure beginning to develop out in the Atlantic, and as we run through the charts, we're going to find that low pressure pushing eastwards as the high pressure continues to drift eastwards. We'll be bringing down a cold front here if this is right on Wednesday the 19th, probably taking a band of rain, and cooler air then follows from the north. So by the time we get through to Thursday the 20th, we're all in that cooler weather as we saw on the ensemble. And then for Friday the 21st, 10 days away, we've got the high pressure down to the southwest and out into the Atlantic, low pressure up to North Scotland. As I say, there was that kink in the ice bars just indicating that low pressure could be developing in the flow, and we'll have a look at that in a moment, because this low pressure horizon does then come down and sit over the top of the country. For the ECMWF, again, it's a similar situation for a week's time. The high pressure to the east, the low pressure to the west, and we're bringing up this southerly wind, so it'll be very warm to start next week. But then as we go through into the middle of the week, we find this trough of low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, bringing cooler weather, probably taking a band of rain in across the country as well, although how active that is, we'll have to wait and see. It's a long way off. But anyway, we'll take that across the country and introduce much cooler weather back from the Atlantic, so that as we go through in towards the latter part of the period, this is 10 days out, Friday the 21st of September, we've got that high pressure sitting down to the southwest, building back in across the country again, but we've got a legacy of quite cool air over the country. So this isn't a hot chart, it's quite a chilly chart really, but that high pressure is still in control. And as we saw on the height anomaly charts, this ECMWF did have the heights just down to the southwest of the country, whereas the GFS had it much further out into the Atlantic. So there is a bit of a disagreement with the GFS and the ECM once we get through to 10 days away. And then finally have a look at the Canadian model of GEM. We can see we pull up this southerly wind in a week's time, so all models are in agreement with this. It is going to turn very warm again over the weekend, and particularly for the start of next week. From around Saturday, Sunday, we'll see those temperatures begin to lift up a bit, and then once we get through to Monday and Tuesday, it starts to become very warm. But it probably doesn't last too long, because as we go through to the middle of the week, the high pressure drifts away to the east, and we start to bring this low pressure in off the Atlantic. This is actually quite a deep area of low pressure sitting just southwest. GM is often different, and this is a different chart for 10 days away, Friday the 21st. This low pressure, quite a deep area of low pressure, is moving in off the Atlantic, setting up probably quite an unsettled sort of pattern. Now, just having a final look at the GFS, once we get beyond this 10-day period, we're into this northerly wind, and as we run through these charts, GFS does turn it really very unsettled through the final week of September, bringing this area of low pressure down into the country, setting it over the country. This is a very cool, unsettled pattern for the final week of September. It's a long way off, so we can't take this too seriously, but there's that low pressure still sitting there on Thursday the 27th of September. This is very cool and unsettled if this is right for the final week of September. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this is right. We've had a lot of fine weather, continue to have a lot of fine weather through September, but once we get through to the final week, I won't be at all surprised if we do find it turning much more unsettled and cool. That's just my own personal sort of hunch about what might happen for the final week of September. It's a long way off, we can't take it seriously from the model output this morning, but there's a hint there from the GFS that that's what's going to happen. I wouldn't be too surprised if that is where we go for the final week of September. But in any case, for the next 8 to 10 days, well, we've got autumnal weather this week, warm weather then over the weekend, and very warm weather into the start of next week before it turns more unsettled and cooler again through the middle and latter stages probably of next week. And then beyond that, we're into the last week of September and question marks about where we go then. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll be doing the 5-day forecast tomorrow, so come back for that. But that's all for now.